All right, you ready?
No.
Well, too bad. Don't do that. Please do not do that. I'm Omari.
And I'm Eddie.
And we are
The two voices of the week.
Start Natives. Our culture unfiltered.
Discussing the way of this world.
And the next.
Two voices.
Two voices.
Queer.
Queer.
Candid.
Candid.
Discussing the way of this world and the next.
Discussing the ways of this world and the next. Discussing the ways of this world
Candid.
and the next.
Discussing the way of this world and the next.
Discussing the ways of this world and
You know, we got a Cinemovique happening. Cinemovique review of MoTHER. Directed and written by Darren Aronofsky. He has done films such as Pie. He has done Requiem for a Dream. He has done a movie that Eddie just loves, which is Black Swan. He also did Noah, I believe. So this is going to be an interesting episode because I loved MoTHER personally. I watched it several times and I enjoyed it. And I think it's interesting and it really keeps me intrigued. Eddie, on the other hand,
I did not.
he did not enjoy it. And
At
he
all.
watched it once.
And I'm okay with just watching it once because I'm not going to watch that again. At all.
So this should be pretty interesting. Now, I guess we should kind of, spoilers. There will be spoilers.
There will be spoilers on
There
this
will be
video.
spoilers.
So,
MoTHER is starring Jennifer Lawrence as the titular character.
MoTHER.
And then you have Javier Bardem. MoTHER is about a man and a woman in a house. A nice little quaint house in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by lush grass and beautiful scenery and whatnot. It's a pretty nice house. You kind of get the idea that the woman, she has been working on the house because she apparently is the one that has...
It's like doing the renovations and
she's
stuff
done
like
the
that.
renovations of the house, and the man is a writer. They don't have names, which I think is really interesting because it's like, how long can you watch a movie before you ask, what the fuck are these people's names?
Yeah.
The allegory is that this woman is Mother Nature. The
And
man
he is God.
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 The man is God. So the movie starts with Jennifer Lawrence waking up. And she's like, baby. Yeah, so you can tell that right away that their relationship is not I don't think it's an equal partnership.
No.
She obviously is a little more dependent on him in terms of just like wanting his attention and
like
stuff
she's
like
needy.
that. Yeah, she's a little needy.
Yeah, like she needs him a little bit. In a sense, you kind of started to understand that this is resembling the Bible.
Yeah.
That it's not only resembling the Bible, but it's also like kind of making a comment into like what Mother Nature is and what God is.
And how we treat
everything.
Mother Nature.
And how, there's somebody that comes into the house and apparently like somebody told them about this house and to come over here. Like apparently this was an inn.
Right.
And so he kind of invites him and everything, even though Jennifer Lawrence is not okay with it. Like she kind of feels a little bit wary about the whole situation. But then she's like, okay, well,
But she allows it to happen because she's just so in love with him.
She tries to be hospitable, and everything.
She loves him so much that she allows him to essentially run all over her.
You have this other woman coming in because her husband is the one that got invited.
In the full scope of things, so like MoTHER is like Mother Nature. And then
him is kind of like God.
Like God. The man is like Adam, the woman is like Eve, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
The Adam and the Eve characters, they keep getting drawn to the little crystal on the pedestal. And the crystal is kind of like the forbidden fruit. And, they MoTHER and the God character, they try to keep them away from it, but they end up getting back to it and fucking breaking it.
Yeah.
And once they broke it, then their sons pop up.
And where they were like, kind of like, oh, like you love one more than the other and all that stuff.
Yeah, like Cain and Abel. Cain kills the Abel.
It's more like...
just like an abstract retelling.
Like an abstract retelling. Not only that, but it's also kind of like a mirror to us.
The other son dies and they come back and they kind of have like a wake of sorts for the son with the Adam and Eve character. It's like, it's not just these two people or these two people.
Yeah, no, it's like
all of these people are coming into my house and it's kind of like, people like us populating the earth. So there's a scene where there are these two people sitting on this sink that up until that point she was like, hey, that's not braids, like don't touch that or don't sit on that, don't put too much stuff on it because it will break or something like that. And she tells them to get off And they get off.
Like they get off, but then, you know,
Right
she
back
kind of goes and talks to somebody else, and then they go back again. And then they start
bursts.
bouncing until it bursts. And then it's like all this water, all the pipe is all that coming out. So it kind of resembles to
the flood.
The flood.
The 40 days, 40 nights flood of Noah's Ark.
Yeah, so then she gets irritated and she kind of makes a scream and everything. That's when everybody kind of like leaves the house.
Yeah.
Everybody leaves the house, and then she goes and tells something to him. And what she's telling him, like, oh, you don't care about me, like, blah, blah, blah. And then you don't want to, like, fuck me and everything. And it's like, out of the blue, she's like, oh, I'm pregnant. And then she, you know, we see her. And he
gets really inspired
because of that. And then so he starts writing. And once he's done with the book, once he's done writing what he needed to write, from there, it's kind of like
the invasion starts coming back, like with all of these people.
Yeah, like with the press and everything and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, it's like invading the house and like taking. And because of the things that he's been saying on the press, it's like people starts like, oh, well, he's gonna, you know, you need to share and everything.
They're like infatuated with him.
So
like obsessed. The whole time she's kind of just like taking the people coming, the man not showing her attention, the man picking people over her throughout the movie. Like she's just accepting it. It's so weird because I don't know who. I think that might have kind of been like the devil in a way, where she was telling the people to get off her sink, and the man was trying to get her to like go on a walk with him. And it's the way he lied to her face about him knowing the people who owned the house or whatever. He was like, whoa, I've never seen you before. I've known this family all my life. And then she's like, this is my house. No, it was about her choices. That's the reason why, that's the only reason why I bring him up, is because she made a choice not to go with him. Yeah. And I think that had she have chosen, the thing, she was presented with certain moments, I feel, in this movie, where if she would have chose to do something different than what the other ones did, then something could have probably changed, turned out a little different. And that's why I brought him up, is because there's a part where when they start coming into the house, the way she just like accepts it. That's what I was saying. So that's why I brought him up, because she just kind of lets them come in. She doesn't really object to anything until it's too late.
True. But the thing is, for me, it would have been weird to have him as in like the first person to kind of like make her leave the house, because the problem is the way that he wants her to leave the house.
Yeah, he was just being so obvious about he wanted
to do something bad to her.
Yeah.
So then it's like, no, it was okay that she decided not to go with him, because if she would go with him, then she would have been used the same way that she's being used throughout the house.
True. But that's the thing. It's not that had to be one of the time, but it's just the fact that she made a choice to obey, in a way, the man, even though he never kind of wrote out like, oh, this is what you do and don't do, but she just was so devoted to him, just like the people who came into the house and were obsessed with wanting all these things and wanted to be a part of him. And that was her thing too. She wanted so badly to be a part of him, and she wanted so badly for him to love her and be with her.
Things starts to go really crazy to the point where it's like, now you kind of worry about her and the baby.
Yeah, because it got so intense where it was like their devotion became like an obsession, like an infatuation, and everybody got more and more like aggressive, and he was okay with it, and she was like, why don't you tell them to leave? And he was like, I don't want them to.
Yeah,
because he's so obsessed with like being needed and being adorned and appreciated and all of these things. And it really, honestly, it made him feel like a fucking narcissist.
Yeah.
Which, I hate that, you know, that. But I mean, if you do pay attention to your Bible, one thing that is said all the time, and I'm just like, that's not, I feel like that shouldn't even be okay to say. They're like, our God is a jealous God.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we associate jealousy, like jealousy has such a negative connotation to it. And it's odd how we can say that God is a jealous God in a very proud way.
Yeah, like it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like,
so it's like seeing, but that's what I like about the movie. It's like seeing somebody like God, like seeing God in this man and seeing this man do the things that we kind of think of how God feels about us. And like is about how we adorn him and how we devote ourselves to him is very interesting.
Yeah.
So the woman has the baby. She has the baby with all of these people in the house.
And then we get like a moment of quietness because he actually tries to help her. But then he wants to hold it. But she's like, no.
Because everybody wants to see the baby. Everybody's like obsessed with the baby.
He's like, but I'm his father. And she's like, no. But she starts to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And when she wakes up, it's like, where's the baby? And then she noticed that he's outside, like presenting the baby.
Yeah.
And then you hear like,
yeah. Yeah.
and once you hear the,
yeah.
it's like, what? And then she runs and everything. And then she noticed that the baby is like gone, like it's dead and butchered. She looks to the people. It's like they're crying, but also eating the baby.
They ate the baby, y'all.
And it's like,
these bitches ate the baby.
Kind of like the communion. Like you eat the bread and the bread represents his body. And then you drink the blood as like the wine as representing the blood from him. And
so of course she gets upset. And that was my biggest issue with her, is like she only got upset when things just went too far. And she got mad, and I think she may have like hit one of them or something. And they,
like she hit and she started hitting and everything. But because of that,
they just shit out of her. They beat her fucking, like it was so graphic. I was like, oh my gosh, they beat the fuck out of this woman. Like they beat her ass.
Yeah, and then after that, he goes and rescue her and tries to, like make them stop and everything. They actually stop. So then she gets into her breaking point. She just runs and goes downstairs. And when she goes downstairs to the basement, lets all the oil come out, and she just chops the fire.
Burns that shit up.
And burns the whole entire house.
Fucking house. Everybody in it. Burnt it up.
He talks to her.
Yeah.
Because he has her for one last time. And she's like, she kind of says something about not being enough and not, like, him not caring about her and everything. I don't think he even says sorry.
No.
At all, yeah. And then he asks her, is it still there?
Like the love that she had for him, yeah. And
she's like, it's still. And so then he goes
what he does?
And takes it.
Rips her fucking heart out. And her heart is a nice little piece of glass, like the one placed on the pedestal at the beginning. Yeah. And he places it on the pedestal again.
And then everything starts all over again. And then what you see? A new woman.
Baby. And what's really crazy about it is like, and God is just starting over. And I think, how they say, like, doing the same thing and expecting different results is a sign of insanity.
Yeah.
And,
and he was insane.
If God can be jealous, maybe he can be insane too. Because I think that's the thing that kind of got me. It was like, there has to be a mother who does something different. Yeah. And the thing is, they don't know what came before them. So they can't really be like, oh, well, I learned from what she did. I can do this.
It's like you give me this ending that doesn't give me no satisfaction at all. So it's like you made me waste all this entire time for nothing.
It was a journey, okay? I enjoyed it. It was a journey.
It was a very slow motherfucking ass journey.
It was a journey.
And so another thing is like, I'm glad that I already knew what this is in a way was about.
Yeah, because we had already talked about it. I never thought Eddie would actually watch it.
Yeah, because if I didn't know, well, I really was not going to watch it until this.
You're a bitch. Because it's definitely one of my favorite movies that I've seen in the past 10 years. And I don't like shit no more.
And, true, you don't. Don't get me wrong, I do love the concept of it. I do love the details of it. Like, I love the little symbols and all this shit and everything. But
it just wasn't enough.
It was not
to
enough.
Get Eddie's gold star approval.
Yeah. So it don't get no motherfucking gold star from me.
But we hope that you go and watch it.
Honestly, it does not get no fucking stars from Stardust.
Okay. No, bitch. Stardust is a 50-50 thing, bitch. It gets stars for me. It gets 5 stars for me. But since he's not giving it no stars, it gets
4.
Okay, cool. 4 is good. 4 out of 5 ain't bad.
No, 4 out of 10.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah. Because if we do 5, then it will only get 2.
I'm Omari.
And I'm Eddie.
And we are
the 2 voices of the week. Our culture unfiltered. Discussing the way of this world. And do not forget to do your daily saintly duties.
Tony, tell them what the fuck about it.
Okay.
There.
Okay. Sure.
So y'all make sure y'all watch MoTHER. It's not an awful movie. I think it's quite enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I actually watched it again today. So, Well,
because he loves it. So of course he can see it again. Like, hello.
I hope that y'all can watch it and get something more than this bitch got. Cause what the fuck?
Yeah.
But bye y'all.
Bye.
See y'all next time.